favourite son's Matthew Kennedy takes on the former kangaroo, Mark Carroll.
And we are still seeing Monkey there. The 245-game veteran, the Axe, Trevor Gilmeister. He'll go up against former Carlton star Dean Rice and another former Brisbane Lions star, Richard Champion, mixes it with the Queensland State of Origin legend, Billy Moore.
But the top of the card, Derm, and no doubt about it, one of the biggest names in rugby league, Mal Meninga, toe-to-toe with undoubtedly the biggest mouth in AFL history, Mark Jacko Jackson.
Oh, you got that right with Jacko there. Look, the boys have been at it for a few weeks now in the media and putting some big hours in the gym. Now, Jacko actually thinks he's Rocky Balboa. He's been training in the Victorian Alps.
Well, I think Mal's quietly confident. Just have a look at him here.
All right, Jacko, giving us league boys a hard time for the last few weeks. We're waiting for you, mate. We've been training hard. Can't wait for you AFL blokes.
Big Mal there. He certainly looks pumped up, doesn't he? Well, if you think he was pumped up, then have a look at this. Let's take a look at Jacko.
You may well ask. You may well ask. But let me tell you, this is a war that had to happen. AFL versus rugby league. We are better, we're smoother, we're fitter. Cardiovascular is stronger. This has got to happen. Rugby league, they tackle each other from behind. Where's their strength? AFL will live forever!
Don't send your kids to
Well, let's get on with the
Okay.
show and find out all about our first two contestants, Damien Monkhurst and Mark Geyer.
Monkhurst goes for goal, Damien Monkhurst.
Monkhurst played in Collingwood's premiership in 1990. He twice represented Victoria in State of Origin games. By his own admission, he was something of a lout. He played 216 games for Collingwood. Fans will remember him not for his pace or high marks, but his great strength to break up packs. Tonight, Monkey weighs in at 135 kilos. MG gained a reputation as one of the game's big bad boys by notching up a total of 34-week suspension during his senior career. Mark played a total of 242 senior games and was a member of Penrith's first premiership winning team in 1991. He toured with the Kangaroos in 1990 and played in 3 State of Origin matches. Tonight he weighs in at 112 kilos.
Let's bring the big monk out now, the only man that scared the football studs off Tony Lockett. Here he is, Damien Monkhurst. And his opponent tonight, big, tough, plenty strong. The enforcer of rugby league in his playing days, Mark Geyer!
And as the boys are making their way down to the canvas, let's take time out now to welcome our fight caller direct from Las Vegas, a veteran of 10,000 fight calls. Bob Sheridan, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'll tell you this, it's been a lot of years and a lot of fights and a lot of championship fights, but I can honestly say I don't think any fight that I've ever called would reach the importance of this. If we can save 1 or 2 lives only, that'll be tremendous tonight. And this first fight is going to be unbelievable.
Tail of the tape in front of you there, Bob. There's some pretty meaty boys out there.
You take a look at Monkhurst. I mean, the guy's 3 inches taller, 22 pounds heavier, 264 to 242. That's 120 kilos to 110 kilos. These are mountain men.
Bob, I think Mark Geyer would have got the unlucky draw there. I think he's picked the biggest guy ever to play AFL football, and I hope his footwork is very good tonight.
I actually played 1 year with Damien Monkhurst, so I was on the same side, and I still took a wide berth of him. He's scary. He is
dangerous.
Dead set
Have a look at
scary.
the size of him. He's a man mountain. Actually, both boys are from the mountain area of their states. Mark Geyer, a mountain boy up in Penrith, and you've got Damien, who also comes from the mountains down in Victoria. So this should be a beauty, the battle of the mountain men.
For the first time that Mark Geyer has to stick and weave, I think, in his professional sporting career. We're just about ready to get it on here, Bob.
Here we go. Round number 1, scheduled for 3. They're 2-minute rounds. Scoring the 20-point must-scoring system. Monkhurst in the red. Geyer, of course, in the blue. Look at this. Right away, Monkhurst goes head on it. Geyer holding his own, though. He goes to the body first.
Some of
I wonder if he's going to be able to make it. 7 and 8. This fight is all over. It's a first-round knockout for Mark Geyer. How about that? Wow! What a way. I'll tell you this, before the seats get warmed up here, we've got a knockout in the very first fight.
Well, I tell you, MG was always a passionate man, and when it came to the big matches, the State of Origins, the Test matches, he always came to the fore, and gosh, it was just a flurry of fists there, and he certainly caught one right on the jaw, Damien, and went down very quickly.
That rattled him something sure, didn't it? I reckon that one. Let's have a look at it on the replay here. He's come in there, and his right hand drops there. And that's the one that got him. He didn't pull the right hand up there. He just came out a bit hard, Bob. He just looked to end it and throw king hits, didn't he?
Oh, he caught him with a tailor-made left hook. He had his head down and he had everything going. You know, he nearly started that war with Wally Lewis, and I guess Wally Lewis, if you're watching tonight, I'm glad you never did have that fight with him.
Exactly. Big Wally and MG pushed around and shoved around at the SCG there a few years ago, and it was good that they didn't carry on with it, but they certainly carried on with it here tonight.
Yeah, well, the big monkey's all right. He's up. He's got a smile on his face. Fantastic bloke, Damien Monkhurst. And let's go into the ring now.
You want to announce it, Darryl?
Okay, the winner's pretty obvious. Mark Geyer. Mark, wow, you played football like a tornado and you boxed like one.
Well, if you look at the size of this bloke, I was shitting myself before the fight. If you watch the replay of my eyes, I probably closed a fair bit. And look, it's, at the end of the day, I want to thank Damien for the contest. I'd like to say hello to my kids at home. They'll be watching me, and I got through unscathed, thank God. And most importantly, for the youth suicide, who we're all busting our ass tonight to help. You can see the number on your screen. Make a good donation for a good cause.
One quick one. I always thought Wally Lewis was a pretty smart footballer, but I remember the night he stood up to you at the Sydney Football Stadium. He's a mug.
Well, again, I shit myself that night too.
Mark Geyer.
He's like they're interviewing Mark and Damien Monkhurst, a bit dejected there. Well, we're all set here. There he is, the big monkey on screen. He's probably thinking, I wouldn't mind loading up again and having another go, but that's the way the fight game goes. He hit the canvas, it didn't get up, ET, but we've got plenty more in store for all you fight viewers.
Straight after the break, we have the next bout, which is going to be a beauty as well. We've got Matthew Kennedy from the AFL up against Mark Carroll. Now, I played a lot of footy with Big Spud Carroll. He's a big mean guy, but hey, the result might go the other way this time. Who knows? And you remember you're watching Fight for Life.
And up they go, and down they come, not fourth yet, fourth now.
Spud Carroll played in the Manly Premiership side of 96. He toured with the Kangaroos in 1990 and played with the World Cup in 95. Mark played 219 senior games, and fans will remember the power charge confrontations with Paul Harrigan during the Manly Newcastle games of the late 90s. The Spud weighs in at 115 kilos.
And the ability for Manly to keep the ball alive.
Matt Kennedy grew up in Queensland, and in 1992 he became a permanent fixture in Brisbane's lineup. A solid contributor with a booming right kick. Kennedy notched up 192 games for the Lions. His biggest disappointment, missing selection in Brisbane's premiership side in 2001. Tonight, Matt weighs in at 102 kilos.
He's big, he's bold, he's a Brisbane boy. He's playing tough, he's lean and mean, and he's ready to rumble now. Matthew Kennedy for the AFL. They didn't come any tougher than rugby league than Mark Carroll. This boy is big, strong and plenty tough. He's mixing on the football fields of the world. Now he's going to step into the ring for the pride of rugby league, Mark Carroll!
Big cheer goes up for Spud Carroll as he makes his way down to the canvas here, Bobby Sheridan. Let's have a look at the tail of the tape there. He's got a little bit of poundage on Matty Kennedy, who still looks like a very good athlete.
Yeah, you see the tail of the tape. You see Kennedy's shorter, he's lighter, he's younger. Carroll, a huge guy, 250 pounds or 114 kilos. He's a big man. We saw what happened to the big man in the last fight. Right now, we got to remind the folks that the rugby league's out in front, 1-0. So it's very important for Kennedy from the AFL to grab this one. We're just about set to go. The referee will be calling him in, and we'll have a second fight. If it's anything like that first one, it'll be terrific.
Yeah, I think this one will go a little bit longer than the first. It was a surprise to everyone. Even Mark Geyer, I think, was very shocked. But here we go in the second bout. It's going to be an exciting one. They both look very fit. Actually, Kennedy looks extremely fit, and having a chat to him out the back seemed very relaxed. Where Mark Carroll, on the other hand, a
little bit edgy.
He was very edgy.
Yeah, but that's the way he played footy too, E.T. He was a pretty hyped up sort of guy when he got out there. And Big Max Kennedy, as we affectionately know him, claimed a few scalps in AFL, and as I said, still in very good condition as an athlete.
Well, Max told me that one of the keys for him is to control his anger. He said, you know, it's different in boxing than in playing football. If you don't keep your anger under control, you're going to get in trouble right away. On the other hand, Carroll told me he's going for a first-round knockout, so that spells fireworks. We'll see what happens when he gets going.
All right, ref taking them into the centre of the ring now. He's bringing them in. And Max Kennedy just getting a few last-minute adjustments to that headgear, and he sizes up. Big Spud Carroll.
We remind everyone that this is sanctioned by the Australian Amateur Boxing Association and the Queensland Amateur Boxing Association. Great job done by Alan Nicholson to get these fights together, and the fight for life, what an important cause. And I'm just absolutely thrilled to be here working with Dermot and E.T.
Seconds out.
The principals in there, Kennedy again in red, representing the AFL, and Carroll in blue. Here we go, round number 1. It's scheduled for 3. These fellas are feeling each other out a little bit more, but both show a jab right away, and all of a sudden Carroll jumps right on top of Kennedy. Carroll said he was going for the early knockout, banging the body. Is Carroll, and then back upstairs. Kennedy has just that headgear. Big, strong guy. Looks with his shoulders very squared there. Now he's jabbing with the left hand, trying to keep him off. He loads up the right hand. Carroll right on top of him. With the right hand. Dancing across the ring is Kennedy. Kennedy's standing right in front of his man. He's got to move side to side, or this guy's going to catch him to the body and back upstairs. There's a digging shot to the body. Comes with a slight uppercut. Kennedy trying to shake those arms out. Carroll ready for him as Kennedy comes forward, holding the hands high. Feints left, feints with the right hand, and Carroll just slides away a little bit. Kennedy's got to close the distance by throwing punches. He's got to jab and get inside. And every time he tries to do that, Carroll throws something to the body. Carroll waiting right now. He wants to counter him. Goes with the light left jab.
They're actually moving both very well, these two guys. Stop. Mark Carroll's coming in big flurries, isn't he? Just coming in and forcing Kennedy back.
Okay.
But look, it's shaping up very well, isn't it, Dermot?
Yeah, Kennedy starts off with the light left jab that time. A little bit of blood coming from the nose of Carroll and of Kennedy as well. They both have a little bit of blood coming down. Carroll with the blue comes forward, throws that big right hand that falls just a little bit short, bangs him upstairs, tries to use the thumb to get into the eye, I believe, but I don't think that these guys are fighting quite that way, but I'll tell you, they're so aggressive. Look at this! Kennedy right back. Carroll has to hold him off with a good shot. This is just round number 1. Sneaky right hand landed on the upper left-handed side of the jaw of Kennedy that time. Now Kennedy ties him up. The referee gives the verbal instructions that they do in the amateur leagues. Wild with the right hand that time, and Carroll with the bell end. A pretty good first round.
That's a good first round, and Big Spud Carroll landed a few. There was one he put up the guard over on this side of the ring, Max Kennedy, and Spud just hit the guard, and it still rocked him. He's loading them up, but he seems to lose wind a little bit after each flurry, Spud Carroll, and he needs a good 30 seconds to regain.
I think you've got to remember that both of these guys, whether it be AFL or rugby league, probably do a lot of boxing training in their normal regime anyway, and especially the rainy nights, you spend hours just hitting the bags and hitting the pads, and here they go. There's a good flurry from Mark Carroll. Well, Spud's not doing too bad. He's actually got Kennedy on the hop here. Kennedy does come back later in the round though and get a couple of nice ones in.
And we watch here as he pushes Spud over when he's taken away the win. Yeah, I think you're right there, Bobby. He just needs to keep at him and just stop Spud from throwing them and then sucking in big gasps of air for about 15 seconds. If he can stop him getting a good breather, he might wear him down here, but I tell you what, that's a mean right hand of Spud's he wants to steer clear of early each round.
All right, here we go. Round number 2. Carroll in blue, representing rugby. The AFLer Kennedy. Kennedy from right here in Queensland, and a big popular guy here in the red trunks. He's got his anger under control for sure. Now he's got to get some punches under control, and he opens up with a nice looping right hand, the left temporal bone of Carroll. Carroll standing right in front of him, but now he goes on the assault, bangs the body of Kennedy. Kennedy, remember, is much lighter, 250 pounds to 215. That translates into 114 kilograms to 98. So Carroll is a big heaping man. Touches him up with a light left jab, and this is the point where the arms get a little bit heavier, but Carroll right on top of Kennedy again. Unofficially, I had Carroll winning the first round. The judges will probably score that a 2019 round in favor of Carroll. So Kennedy has got to do something, load up the right hand, bang him to the body. He's got to do something extraordinary. What he really needs to do is try to get an angle by taking a step to the left or the right and throwing that right hand. He tried to do it, but he was in the wrong position. He was standing right in front of Carroll, who stays a little bit busier as Kennedy comes in. You see Carroll wild as that right hand whistles past the nose of Kennedy. Kennedy felt the breeze of that one, I'll tell you. But no fear. Kennedy right back. These guys are professional athletes, and they have trained. I know Kennedy trained for some 10 weeks for this fight, so there's a lot of pride involved here, and a lot of pride between the AFL and the rugby leaguers.
You can see how much work they've put in, Bob. Ooh, they're starting to get wobbly on the feet.
Kennedy able to get one through, but right back again. Carroll is a busier of the fighter. He's landing more blows. A little bit of trouble with the headgear of Kennedy, so they'll go over and make that equipment adjustment. And Carroll is in the process of winning this second round. It's going to make it tough for the fellas from the AFL to come back if the first 2 fights of the night end up on the score sheet of the rugby leaguers. All right, time back in again. This is round number 2 in a scheduled 3-round affair. These are 2-minute rounds. They're wearing 16-ounce gloves. The headgear, of course, is the amateurs, and the footballers are in the red, as is Kennedy, and in the blue is Carroll. Carroll, you see how busy those hands are. Kennedy looks a little bit arm-weary as the bell ends round number 2. Not quite as much action, but that's kind of the way it's going to go throughout the course of the evening.
You'd think so. They've just got to see their way through this third round. They want to get a points decision here, I'd say, the AFL boys. But there's a number on your screen, 1902-268-001. Don't forget, we're here for that horrible epidemic, which is teenage youth suicide, ET, and it affects just about every one of us in one shape or form. We basically all know someone who's gone that way, and it's a horrible thing to have in our society. Let's take a look at some of the replay now. Big Spud throwing and a fresh airy. Big Max. He got a little bit of the staggers there, Spud, but
he started to stagger forward. But no, he kept control, and I think the headgear came off then. They had to stop for just a moment. I think both boxers were very, very happy with that little break, Dermy. I can imagine if we were in there, we'd be waiting for the bell every second.
I think if you and I were in there, mate, we might have 3 10-second rounds. That'd do us well and truly.
All right, here we go. Round number 3. The New South Wales hitman, Mark Carroll, out in front. I think he's won the first 2 rounds of the fight, which would put him a couple of points out in front. And now time is called by Max Kennedy. And now time is right back in again. And here we go. Round number 3. 2-minute rounds. Max is dancing around to his left now. He's getting those angles, so his cornerman told him, hey, you got to get those angles, and then you got to throw something. See if he can double with the left hand, and then he can throw a big looping right hand. He's got to do something to get Carroll off his game plan. And the movement, look at this, he's tagged though. Both guys were hit at the same time. They exchanged punches, and the referee now is giving a standing 8 count to Kennedy. I don't think he realizes that Carroll was hurt as well.
That was like Rocky 2.
Yeah, he did. My God, the referee's right on top of it. This is a good referee. He was really involved in the organization of the Olympics in Sydney. So he knows what he's doing, and he's just shown it there. He gave both of them the standing count. So this round is up for grabs, and Kennedy needs it in the worst way. He has the right idea now. Look at the power. Wow, he nailed Carroll again with the right hand, and Kennedy coming up. Carroll going on the gas and he's ready to go. He's reeling around. His legs are heavy. Counts up to 2 and 3. Remember, in amateur boxing, though, a knockdown only counts for as many as 6 punches. So it really is not that significant as it would be in the professional ranks. But let's see if Kennedy can jump on him again. Gives him a little more time. And now the time is back in. Let's see if Kennedy can finish him off. On my scorecard, he would almost need a knockout to win. And he's on top of him. He nails him. And it looks like the referee will give him another standing 8 count. Or he stopped the fight. It's all over. Brilliant job by Kennedy. We're going to have to make this official now. The referee stopped the fight, and I'm not really sure whether he stopped it and awarded it to Kennedy.
He stopped
but
it.
certainly Kennedy came on strong.
He stopped it there, Bob. He definitely put the hand up when he tagged him one more time. But you've got to say that Max's corner did very well for him there. They fought a pretty smart fight. He had all the power, the big Mark Carroll. But Max Kennedy hugging his corner man there now. He fought a clip. Watch it in the dying seconds here, E.T.
Yeah, no, he certainly got some good, strong shots in towards the end. Mark Carroll actually put in a great 2 rounds, and then unfortunately in this 3rd round, he just hasn't had the legs to stay with it. And a great effort by Kennedy.
Big right hand coming. That's it.
And
the ref.
That was the one which finished it.
Well, there he is. Max Kennedy evens it up for the AFL. What a great fight, though. Both boys should be very proud of themselves in there, Bob.
Boy, that was a terrific effort. We'll make sure that it's official when we go to Daryl Eastleg. But we're quite sure that certainly they've given this fight to Kennedy on the stoppage.
Okay, the winner from the red corner, Matthew Kennedy.
Daryl Eastleg. He'll grab Max in a
well
second.
Well done, Spud, too. But Matthew, just come here for a second. Just stand here. See that little green light? I want you to look at that. There you go. Now, listen, you started off a bit shaky. You said to me in the rooms you were ready to go. But by God, you came back.
Mate, my initial plan was to dance. I knew he was a big gorilla. I didn't want to get hit by him. So I was going to dance, keep my hands up and get out of his way. Because if he hit me with one of those, my head would end up row 10 up the back there.
That 3rd round, you both nearly knocked each other out.
Yeah, that was handy, wasn't it? That was one for the crowd. No, that was good fun. It was... This is the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. Playing footy, you get very nervous, but in those change rooms before this fight, I'll tell you what, I was shitting myself.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been so tense and so nervous, but you've worked hard for this, so this is not a light-hearted thing. You've trained for it.
Oh, mate, it's been very solid training. If you take this light-heartedly, you look like a dill. I didn't want to look like a dill in front of my AFL mates.
Well, I said you were a pretty tough competitor when you came out. You've proved that again. And what a time. Big Max Kennedy. Max Kennedy the winner.
Daryl Eastleg there in the ring with Max Kennedy, and he said his AFL mate. So I saw Jason Ackermanis in the crowd lending support there to Big Max Kennedy. There's the number on screen. Give if you can. $25 as a donation for the teenage youth suicide causes. Max Kennedy walks off. Next up, our next bout, Dean Rice taking on the Axe, Trevor Gilmeister. You're watching Fight for Life.
Oh, Rice, well played, Dean Rice. Breaks the tackle, kicks it.
If you're looking for inspiration, look no further than the sheer determination that kept Dean Rice playing at the highest level. With 236 games under his belt, a premiership with Carlton in '95. It was his aggressive approach that would put fear into most of his opponents. Tonight, Dean weighs in at 93 kilos. Gilly captained Queensland in State of Origin football in 4 matches, including the Clean Sweep Series in 1995. He's had an outstanding club career in playing a total of 245 games and was one of this country's oldest players to make his Test debut against New Zealand back in '95. Tonight, Trevor weighs in at 83 kilos.
I asked Dean Rice how to describe himself. He said, just say I'm hard. I'm enthusiastic, I'm dedicated to the cause, I want to help the kids, and I can win this thing. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Rice. Trevor Gilmeister wore the colours of Queensland with such passionate pride. Played for Australia, gave his heart and soul to football field. He's given away 10Ks tonight, but the Axe as he's known, he used to chop them down on the football field. Tonight he'll chop them down the ring. Trevor Gilmeister!
Hometown favourite there, Trevor Gilmeister up against the ex-Carlton and St Kilda player, Dean Rice. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, gents.
As you take a look at the tail of the tape, you'll notice that Dean Rice is taller, he's heavier, and he's younger than Gilmeister. Gilmeister, as a matter of fact, is the smallest of all our fighters tonight. But anybody they call the Axe when he played that could tackle the way he did, you know that he's going to be a warrior tonight.
That's exactly right, Bob, and he has this huge support up here. The Brisbane people love him. He's been a Queensland icon for many, many years, played a lot of State of Origin football, and one of the toughest guys you'll find, so he won't be taking a backward step.
And Dean Rice has done about several months, I believe, almost 4 months of training for this fight in the gym, in sparring. So he's going to need it, because the Axe, even though he's giving away those 10 kilograms, he is one serious unit. And look at that head on him. He's a pretty powerful character, but that head, that's seen a few wrong ends of elbows and fists, hasn't it? There's nothing that he's not accustomed to here tonight.
Seen a few scrums. Well, here they go.
All right, we're set to go for our next fight of the evening. Dean Rice in the red of the footballers and Gilmeister in the blue. Gilmeister is a fighter. He's had fights before. This is his 5th amateur fight. He knows how to box. He's going to try to counter-punch and try to take away some of the power of Rice right away. You notice the way he's up on his toes. Decked out in blue is Gilmeister. To the left of your screen, kind of with his back to you now. He loops that big hand right across. And you see the ref say, hey, keep the hands up. Nice jab by Rice, too. It doesn't land. That's the right hand that does land, though. Rice has got some power behind the right hand. Gilmeister's got to be quicker, and he's got to get some movement, too. Right now, both guys are just coming straight in at each other. But as we've seen in the previous fights, it has a tendency to slow down and get a little bit more technical as the time ticks by. These guys are good fighters. You wouldn't know that they were amateurs. Gilmeister in the blue, up on his toes, dances right. Now right in front of him, bobs, weaves, throws the right hand, goes with that right hand lead. Now he backs off, and in comes Rice. Rice lets 2 hands go, the combination doesn't land. Back is Gilmeister with a looping left hand that just gets Rice off balance a little bit. Rice tries to throw something, and Gilmeister lands, cracks him right to the forehead, and he has to adjust that headgear. There's a looping right hand that time by Rice. Rice in red takes a body shot, and that's what Gilmeister told me he'd do, is work the body.
Went down low, didn't he? That's the second one he's thrown right into the solar plexus there. Good overhand right from Gilmeister, and Rice responds.
Responded well with the right hand of his own, and that's what he has to do, because Gilmeister is probably the more experienced of the two boxers as a fighter. But the size of Rice should be an advantage. But you notice the way his shoulders are squared up. If he turned that left shoulder in, he'd have a much better situation to avoid the punches of Gilmeister and a much better shot of hiding a right hand behind the left. He's getting the right hand through. He got the left hand on top of Gilmeister's forehead, too. Nice, straight, stiff jab that time by Rice. Rice is coming along. Then there's the looping right hand by Gilmeister, just as you say that. Good move by Rice. He slides down the ropes, gets his timing, gets his positioning, tries to wait for Gilmeister to come at him, and Gilmeister wants to counter, so he's waiting too. Nothing lazy about these guys. These guys know how to fight, and it's a little bit more tactical than the couple of fights you've seen as the Bellends. A real good boxing show.
Yeah, that was a terrific round, wasn't it? Both boxers, well, both ex-players are both boxing, and they're doing a terrific job there. I think Rice has got the better of the reach advantage, and so Gilly really has to work on that defence. He's holding his arms up nice and high, ducking and weaving, getting a lot of shots missing him. So he's doing a pretty good job in this first round, but it's very close, I reckon. A points decision one way or the other. I've got no idea which way.
Well, there you saw the number up on screen for the teenage youth suicide. Let's see, Dean Rice having to crouch down to get it, Gilmeister. So it's almost a little bit of a right hand got through there and just pushed his head back a bit, Bob. But that's the one again on replay, and then regained a bit of composure. But this is a good fight here. They're both sorting each other out, both trying to fight to the techniques that their cornermen have taught them in the last few months. As I said, Dean Rice has spent a few months in the gym, in the spa, sorting himself out here. So this has got a bit of technicality to it.
Well, it shows, too. Coming up to round number 2, again, it's scheduled for 3. They're 2-minute rounds. Some judges will score that last round. Even some judges will give Gilmeister the 20-19, but Rice did come on. These guys can both fight. Rice throws out the light left hand, then nails him with the right hand. Good technique by both fighters. Gilmeister, the Axe, standing in front of his man, shoots out the looping right hand lead, but it doesn't catch Rice. Rice bounces right, tries to plant, loads up the right hand, which rocketed off the jaw of Gilmeister. It didn't hurt him any, but it got his attention, believe me. Opening seconds of this, the second round of a scheduled 3-round affair here. Wow, with a shot there. Right back comes Gilmeister, and that's good counterpunching. This guy has trained to fight, I'll tell you. You see the time remaining, 1:15 to go, and this is the second round of the fight. Rice moves to his left, then comes back to the right, loads up the right hand. That's the perfect way to throw the right hand too. Start moving left, then plant, and then throw the right hand. Right shot, floors Rice. Gilmeister caught him. Rice's legs a little bit wobbly. He'll take the standing 8 count. And again, I remind you that in amateur boxing, the knockdown doesn't mean any more than really a heavy punch. But it does when you're on the receiving end of it. And we'll ask Mr. Rice about that when the fight's over. He get caught with a good shot. His leg's a little bit wobbly. I like to say he's loose in the knees right now, which means his balance isn't great. And Trevor will try to take advantage of that. The axe will try to drop a real big shot, which would be the axe. There, instead, he goes to the body. That's real smart boxing. I tell you, Gilmeister was a great rugby player because he's smart. He used his body to his best when he was tackling, and in boxing, you can see he's just very, very intelligent.
That's exactly right, Bob. He wasn't a big man, but on the football field, he always played it smart and hard. Best timing in the game, and he wasn't called the axe for nothing.
Well, both of the guys are showing a bit of fatigue, which you would expect because the pace that they're showing, even though it's only 2 minutes, is fast and furious. When you are an athlete and you're aggressive like these guys are, they want to let it fly. They don't like being hit, and the bell ends another really good round of boxing. And they didn't kind of peter out to the very closing seconds of that second round.
3 times in the first 2 rounds, but we've really seen it quite noticeable from Trevor Gilmeister. He's loaded up a shot to the body just to try and make Rice come down to his height and then pop one over the top, which is when he put him on the canvas.
There's the number on the screen, 1902 268 001. It only costs you $25, and I can tell you every time you ring that number, you'll be saving maybe not just one life. It could be the life of a friend, it could be the life of a family member. So certainly the $25 will go to a worthy cause, and this Fight for Life campaign has been tremendous.
Let's have a look at them going through the paces here, and this is lands a left there, and it's just that little short one which went about 8 inches there, and Ricey didn't like it and went down onto the knee.
The short ones sometimes are the most dangerous, especially after you've had a lot of shots.
Got a good right hand, Dean Rice, hasn't he?
He certainly does, Bobby. There's been one bout go the first round, one go the second. This one, will it be a knockout in the third again, or will it go the full distance?
Well, we've had 2 KOs, 1 TKO and 1 knockout. We'll see how this one goes. Round 3. This is the 3rd and final round. Look at this. Rice battling back. Looks a little bit awkward. There might be a little bit of a cut of certainly puffiness around the left eye of Trevor Gilmeister, but it's nothing to worry about as he bangs Rice with a nice left hook. He's right in front of him now, holds those hands high. I mean, he's a well-trained boxer. I'll tell you that. For a guy that's only in his 4th amateur fight, he looks like a guy that's been a professional fighter. And he's been a professional athlete, no question about it. He knows something about boxing. Rice is trying to get some angles, kind of like we saw in the last fight, but he's unable to do it because Gilmeister is so quick with his hands. He bobs down, weaves to the right, and then throws the right hand power shot. He needs to throw a few more jabs and then throw the right hand, but he'll go to the body. Wow, with the right hand is Dean Rice. Rice, the pride of Victoria, wants to win this one up here in Queensland and take it away from Gilmeister, the hometown favorite. Instead, he takes one that just glances across the jaw. The right hand thrown by Gilmeister. Gilmeister stands right in front of him, waiting for his man to come in. That's by design. Rice came in, got off a couple of punches, and look at the counterpunch shot by Gilmeister. Real good shot that time. The crowd loves it.
Crowd are getting behind the Queenslander at the moment, and he's starting to perform. There's some good shots there, and they're really encouraging him.
Here they are. Gilmeister lands a big shot with the left hand. Right now, Rice is leaning over. If Gilmeister came with an uppercut, he'd take his head off, and he doesn't see it right now. He wants to concentrate on the body and then come back upstairs. Nice jabbing by Gilmeister throughout this 3rd round. He can just cruise the victory if he keeps throwing in the corner. He caught up to Rice that time. Referee turned him around because it's illegal to turn you back in the boxing ring, and for obvious reasons. This is a tough, hard round and a good strategic fight for both guys. Gilmeister just showing a little bit more skill, in my opinion, than is Dean Rice. There's the bell ending the fight, and that was a nice fight. A real good technical fight, different from the first 2.
Well, we finally got one that's gone the distance tonight, and that was money's value for the people who paid to come in here tonight for Tino G Suicide. You see the number on screen there, Dean Rice getting his headgear off now, and he fought a good fight there. I think Trevor Gilmeister might get the points decision here. He looked pretty comfortable, very tough to hit, Gilly. I'd imagine he'd be the same with a rugby league jumper on as well.
Here we go, here's the replay. Oh, a nice shot right to the head. But no, it was a great effort by both boxers. They really worked hard at times. Rice was coming in and nailing a few into Gilly and then moving away very quickly, working on his footwork. A tremendous effort and a great fight.
Well, I've got it scored 60-54. That's unofficial. When it comes to scoring amateur fights, I'm a pure amateur too, by the way.
Well, we're going to have to go to a break, E.T.
That's right, and after the break, we'll be back with the result. Scandalous. Oh, here comes the result.
Yeah, it's coming straight up here. We're going to go straight to the result now, E.T.
Okay, just waiting for the final seconds. Stealing from the timekeepers, referees. Pretty close bout. What about it for the two boys? Did they turn it on? Yeah. Thank you. Result coming now. Just let the Mr. Referee check that out. Okay, let's have a look. Well, it was a split decision, but the winner, the Axe!
Fantastic effort.
Well, listen, that was a very tight decision. There it is, split decision. But, gee, you turned it on. It was great.
Oh, mate, I'm only a little fella, so I got to do my best, mate. So, no, that's the first time me and Dean have met, so it'll be my shout tonight.
Well, mate, you used to do it on the football field. You'd chop them away, and you've done it again tonight. You were never one to give up.
Oh, I know. I suppose it's... I think that's what the whole night's about, not giving up. And, you know, some of the kids out there, if they can do the same thing, that's what it's all about. So, that's great.
There he is, Trevor Gilmeister.
The Yellow Ribbon program understands that we all go through tough times. And if you guys find it hard to ask for help, the Yellow Ribbon card helps you take that step. Problems don't last forever. When times are rough, it's okay to ask for help.
Great words from a great Australian. Next up, bout number 4 between two Queenslanders, Richard Champion and Billy Moore. Billy Moore's famous for his big Queenslander saying, let's have a look at these two athletes.
Moore. Billy Moore has caused the trouble.
Billy Moore was known as one of the most committed Queensland representatives in State of Origin football. He played 211 games for North Sydney after a junior career which began in Tenterfield. Billy was a member of the victorious World Cup squad in 1995 and played 3 tests for Australia. Tonight, Billy weighs in at 95 kilos. Richard Champion was drafted by Brisbane in 1988. This dashing defender would go and play 183 games, kick 80 goals for the Brisbane Lions. Not tall for a key defender, Richard could take a strong mark and would create many opportunities upfield. He represented South Australia 4 times in state football. Tonight, Champion weighs in at 95 kilos.
He's got it.
A lion and a bear. Let's bring out the lion first. Richard Champion. Champion by name, champion by the way he plays the game. Very fit, very focused on this. He'll have to be. He's got a good opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 Queenslanders coming out. The first one, Richard Champion. Billy Moore, loved Queensland. As he walked down the dressing room, he used to say, Queenslander, Queenslander, Queenslander. Played for North Sydney. When he played football, his eyes were as big as dinner plates. They used to light up. He's as tough as teak. He's ready to go. Billy Moore.
Billy Moore making his way to the ring there. Richard Champion already in there. 2 very fit boys here, Bobby. Let's have a look at the tail of the tape. Very evenly matched here.
At the tape, you see that Richard Champion's a little bit taller. He's also a bit lighter. He's 3 years older. Billy Moore, the pride of Malulaba in Queensland. He's one of those guys that's under the super agent, Jimmy Bennigan, who told me that all of his fighters would win. Well, Gilmeister's done it. Moore has to do it. And then we'll see what Mel Meninga can do with Jacko.
Well, just have a look at these 2 guys. They are fit. They are rippling with muscles at the moment. It's quite amazing to see these 2 guys after retiring, being so fit. I think Billy is involved with the local Surf Life Saving Club. And I know that Richard also goes out and does a lot of triathlons, so these two guys are going to go the distance.
Well, the cardiovascular is working for them. It's just how much time they put into the spa sessions now to see which one stands up and can keep sucking in the breaths, the air, a little bit longer than the other. But they should be able to punch. They're still big men, aren't they?
Well, they certainly are, and I'll tell you one thing. Anybody that's tuned in to see boxing they've seen a knockout, they've seen a TKO, they've seen a decision. What more can you ask for? This is sanctioned by the Australian Amateur Boxing Association as well as the Queensland Amateur Boxing Association. 3 rounds, 2 minutes, 16-ounce gloves. They're wearing the headgear in the red. As you take a look at Champion, in the blue is Billy Moore. 2 tough guys, and as you heard the boys say, Dermot and E.T., they're very fit. Right away, Champion goes to the head of Billy Moore. Billy Moore right back with a light left hook to the side of the head of Champion. Champion holding the hands high. That's Champion at the left of your screen in the red trunks, bouncing up and down. It's Moore on the assault, digging to the body. Gives another shot to the body. Right back comes Champion. This is just round 1 action. It's fast and furious in the early going here. Now Moore slows it down, tries to pick his shot to land the big right hand. Instead he goes to the left hand lead. They're tied up and the referee says break. One of the few times we've heard the referee have to do anything. These guys have come to fight, not the walls. Champion a little bit tentative as he holds his chin high as he goes in. That's a dangerous thing to do because the hook of Moore can flatten him if he holds that chin too high when he comes in, unless he's throwing. Right there in the face is Billy Moore throwing the shot, and right back is Champion. Champion in the red trunks now facing you. He wants to get that jab out. He doesn't want to wait. He paws away with the right hand. He's waiting a little bit. Wild with that left hand as it sails across the nose that time of Champion. Champion right in front of his man goes with a nice straight stiff jab, misses the right hand. Moore right back with a shot of his own. Moore to the right of your screen now says, come on, let's mix it up.
20 seconds.
You see the time remaining in the round, and it's Champion getting the best of Moore in that exchange. Moore stands flat-footed in front of him. Now he plods towards him, looking to throw the jab, and he finally does get the jab through. Big hook, crashes to the right side of the head of Champion. Champion holding the hands high, and instead he gets nailed to the body. Good move by Billy Moore.
Both fighters are having a tendency to tilt their head backwards when they come in, and Richard Champion letting the hands drop after his first few flurries.
Champion get nailed with a nice straight left hand there, Dermot, that kind of rocked the head back. But part of the reason is exactly what you said. When they come in with their chins high, it's just a target too big not to hit because these are mountainous men. There's the bell, ending a good first round of action.
Bit of a smile on Billy Moore's face there, but I think he's flected. That's the way he played footy, also with a smiling face. You get on the phone, 1902-268-001, and with a smile, donate so some kid has got a chance in this tough world.
Or just call into McDonald's and buy one of the badges, just $1. And if you're getting change, if you buy something for $20 and it's only $16 worth of food, well, hey, put those $4 towards this worthy cause.
Why not? Well, Billy Moore, you played a bit of footy against him. I reckon you got tackled by him a few times. He's one fit character.
He was. He always played in the lock forward position, always a very fit player. One of the toughest sort of players in the game, a guy who'd do the distance. And
let's have a look at the way he went in here. Champs loads up with the right. He goes for the immediate exchange and then tries to come in over the top with a right on each exchange. This was the opening flurry from Billy. Not really laying too much leather on him there, Bob, but it looked good for a while. It took a bit of wind out of them, so we might get a few through the defence here and see a few of the points tick over.
Well, I'll tell you, you've seen just about everything that you can see in amateur boxing. Remember, the NRL leads 2-1. Kennedy had a victory for the AFL, and Geyer and Gilmeister had victories for the rugby league. So this is round number 2. Again, it's scheduled for 3 in the red trunks of Champion. Billy Moore attacking, nailed him with a good shot to the head, gets a smile from Champion, but that isn't what you want to do in boxing. Champion tries to tie him up, and he has to.
I got to feel the first person to go downstairs to the stomach area is going to get a big advantage here because they just lean in and expose both their stomachs.
But you guys know as athletes yourself that when you see a guy's chin, all you want to do is bang on it. And that's what, control violence is all about. These guys are learning to be fighters. They were great athletes, both in rugby and football, and now they're trying to be fighters. And I'll tell you this, what they lack in technical ability, they certainly don't lack in heart. These guys are really doing a great job for a great cause. Round 2 of a scheduled 3-round affair. Billy Moore in blue, Champion in red, with Billy having it his way right now. He's really rocking the shot off the jump. Wild right back is Champion though. Now it's turned into a bit of a wrestling match. Referee has to separate them one of the few times again in the course of the evening. I'm very, very impressed by the good boxing we've seen throughout the course of the night.
It's been fantastic. These two guys have got blood in their eyes, though. They're really going hard at it. They certainly want to make sure for their codes that they put on a good show, and they're doing that right now.
Well, they're both fit because when Billy Moore will get something through, Champion looks kind of awkward covering himself up, but you know he has the heart because he comes right back throwing leather. Now this time, Moore again puts that head back, but look at Champion, wow, with the right hand. The uppercut gets inside. He doesn't quite get the body like Dermott wants. Right back upstairs, a little bit of a body shot, and now is Moore out of gas? No, he's not. Back to the head, down to the body, upstairs again, bangs him. Now he steps back to get a bit of breath. This is round 2, actually. They got a whole round to go, and the bell hits round 2. Good action.
This is a good fight, isn't it? Richard Champion sticking him up there. Billy Moore just landing him through there. And he is sucking in big time there, Richard Champion, and doing a great job for the charity you see appearing on your screen there. Fight for life.
How are you feeling now, mate?
Absolutely, these two guys are really going hard at it. It's tremendous that these athletes are coming out here. I mean, they're not just here for the sake of it. It's great entertainment, and they're putting it on for charity. And just have a look at these two guys go.
Having a dig, aren't they?
They are having a real dig.
And I thought that Champs was going to try and give him a backflip. I thought he was going to try and put him on the canvas and pin him for a 3 count.
I think Champs might have won the first round, but I'll give that one to Billy Moore. I thought he came back pretty strong. So here comes the deciding round, the third one coming up. It's going to be interesting.
Final round.
I'll tell you, boys, I'm highly impressed. Dean Lonergan has done a super job putting this together. The people from McDonald's, the Fight for Life people, and what a great job your company, Channel 9. I'm highly impressed. The athletes, they're speaking for themselves. They're doing a super job out there. Here we go. Round number 3. This is the third and final round of this battle between Richard Champion and Billy Moore. Moore amp slightly out in front, and this is one. Look at him. He digs to the body. Bangs him. Hands on with one hand. And how about this? Champion says, come on, I haven't had enough of you yet, guy. The way you get him, though, Champion, is to throw, not catch. And he does it. Look at this. How about this? The crowd is to life here, I want to tell you. Round 3 action. Boy, it's hard to believe these are amateur fighters, and look at Champion come back. After a tough second round, I thought Billy was really strong, and now it's appeared that he's just a little bit gassed, and Champion's got a little bit left in his tank. Boy, a good round of boxing, I'll tell you. You see the time remaining, just about a minute to go, and this one's still up for grabs.
Good fight on her hands, this one. Third round of the 4th bout tonight. Richard Champion just looking to finish a little bit fresher than his counterpart here.
And he really needs it because that'll even the whole thing up. It'll make the AFL 2 and the Rugby League 2. And what could be better going to our final fight of the night? 43 seconds to go in this one. And Champion wants to really turn the heat up now to try and get the judges. But they're both gassed. They've worked so hard through the first 5 minutes of this fight, and now there's only about 30 seconds to go, and they're really gassed, both of them now. Who wants it the most, guys? Champion takes that little walk, adjusts that headgear. Moore waiting, and here comes Champion trying to get the final scoring of the judges, but instead Moore, as Champion puts the head down and scores. Boy, these are two consummate professionals that do not know how to quit. Look at this. Wild with a shot is Moore, but he's on the assault. Champion trying to get his breath, and he is gassed as the bell ends the fight. Hey, they left nothing on the table. They gave it all. And listen to the reaction of the crowd.
Oh, what a good fight we had on our hands there, E.T.
Absolutely, a fantastic fight. The guys couldn't have done any better than that. They gave it their all, and for charity. What a magnificent effort for these guys. What we're doing now,
we'll stay with it. We'll wait for the judge's decision here as we see Billy Moore getting his headgear off. We'll get a sight of the final action here.
Ooh,
a left hand there on Champs' chin. Rocked him back, and Billy follows up repeatedly. And Champs covered up pretty well there. This was a good fight. Two big guys just gave their all.
Dermy, these guys have got a lot at stake. Obviously, all their mates in the AFL and all their mates in the Rugby League, they don't want to cop stick. They've put in a great effort. But the winner will be able to go and, he'll be able to go and brag a little bit to his mates. So I think he'll be a bit happy.
Oh, no doubt about that. And the ref calling them into the centre of the ring now. And I think we're just waiting on the judges to hand over their scorecards. Billy's in the centre there. Champs is there. And the scorecards are with Darryl Eastlake now. He's making his way to the centre of the ring.
Okay, Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what a performance from both of them. Again, a very, very close decision, but it's gone to the blue corner and Billy Moore.
Well, a great result for the NRL. It's going to be a tough one now. The Rugby League guys have won 3, but we've got a big match coming up.
I said when you came out, when you played rugby league, you used to have eyes like dinner plates, and that Queenslander call, by geez, you pulled it down deep tonight, son.
Oh, I was struggling. First of all, I think everyone's done it. I just want to thank Richard for a great contest. Mate, great bloke as well, champs. Good on you, mate. Thank Nick Corner, Nick, Scotty, and Jimmy Bannigan. But actually, someone said to me about this tonight, and this is how I responded. You wouldn't be dead for quids, would you? The adrenaline, coming here and making a story, and that's exactly why you're here. Because some people out there get a bit lost and they think they should die. We're here tonight to show young people the way. The money you spend will show them the light.
You're both champions. Well done. There he is to win the Billy Moore.
Let's get straight into it. Let's go to the tail of the tape of the main bout.
There have been hundreds of footballers with greater ability than Jackson, but it never mattered to the clown prince of football. Jacko played for 3 clubs, 82 games, 308 goals. A deadly kick, vice-like hands, but fans will remember him for his handstands, ball twirling, can throwing antics. Tonight, Jacko, I'm the individual, weighs in at 115 kilos.
Into space, outside.
One of the greatest players in rugby league history, Mal Meninga captained this country in 23 test matches. His career is outstanding, setting the record for the most tests played for Australia and scoring the most points in the history of State of Origin football. Mal played 433 senior games and captained Canberra to 3 NRL grand finals. He weighs in at 116 kilos.
Well, there's no man that's bigger than life. He's an individual. He's wacko Jacko. He's got a lot out of the game tonight. He's going to put a lot back into it. Mark Jackson! One of the biggest centre 3/4 ever to play a game of football. Played for Canberra, played for Queensland, played for Australia. He's the gem, a living treasure, Mal Meninga!
Two massive men on the way to the ring here. And gents, it's a little known fact that when Mark Jackson did retire from AFL football, he actually did make it into the top 10 in heavyweight rankings in Australian boxing. So he's no mug. Knows what he's doing, Bob.
Yeah, he does. As you take a look at the tail of the tape, you see that Jackson's a little bit taller. He's a couple of pounds lighter. He's just a year older. Both of these guys are very, very proud athletes. And Jacko, while he likes to fool around and tease whatnot, he would really like to make a nice showing against Meninga, who, by the way, is a heavy favorite here.
We're watching both Jacko and Mal in the preliminaries. Both guys have put a lot of effort in. Jacko can really hit that bag. Big Mal's looking as fit as ever. It looks like he's got a Superman shirt on there and he's blue, but he'd be loved up here by all these Queensland fans. So it's going to be a big event, this one, and gosh, it's exciting.
I think Mal would be looking to take the points early here, take away Jacko, because Jacko would definitely, because the longer this goes on, he'll blow out of steam, the big fella. He will huff and puff, but I tell you what, he's got a serious right hand. If he lands that, Mal could be in trouble, but Mal's probably done a little bit more boxing in the recent times.
Jacko's funny. He told me this week he trained on a unicycle, so if he falls, he wants to fall forward. And he also said, he had another great line. He says, I dance like an elephant and hit like a truck. That, of course, refers back to the Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He's a character, but again, there's a lot of pride. You're absolutely right, Kevin. He wants to make a showing, and he can hit. But Meninga is really a gifted athlete. As I mentioned before, I saw him fight, and he just did a great job against Borovic last year. And this guy, he has a very stiff jab, and he knows how to throw the right hand behind the jab. So you can look for real good boxing skills from Mal.
He actually injured his hand last year, and I think he broke his hand in that fight. He's up there now looking down at us. He's got smiles on his face at the moment, Bob, but I don't think so after this first round. I think he'll be huffing and puffing and wishing he was back 10 years earlier playing a bit of footy.
Well, it's been a great night. We've had everything for you. We had a unanimous decision. We had a split decision. We had a TKO. We had a knockout. And we had another unanimous decision. So it's been the type of night that you kind of dream for when you're doing a boxing promotion.
Value for money for everybody who's paid their hard-earns to come along here tonight. We hope you at home pay $25 to support this charity the boys are putting in for here tonight. And if you can't, get along to McDonald's during the next few days, and for $1 you can get the yellow ribbon. They're just about ready to get it on here, Bob.
All right, here we go. This is round number 1, again scheduled for 3, and again it's sanctioned by the Australian Amateur Boxing Association as well as the Queensland Amateur Boxing Association. 20-point must scoring system, scoring done by 3 judges.
Seconds
a fighter
out.
must get up following
Round
a low blow,
1.
or he'll be counted out. And they're wearing the 16-ounce gloves and the headgear, as you see. In the red, Jacko. Mal Meninga in the blue. Meninga holds those hands high, goes with that lightning left jab. He's got real good speed, and you notice that in his hands over Jacko, who's got a reach advantage. Jacko using the jab in the face, backing off. Look at the power of Meninga, though. He taps him just once. Look at this! Already Jacko stumbled. You see the power of Meninga. Meninga holds the hands high, lets Jacko go ahead and jab, and everything is falling short. Jacko comes to the body, tries to catch Meninga, but he's very quick with his hands.
Yeah, he's
so look at that shot. And there's some desire. He stays up. He almost got caught with a flush punch. He got caught with a pretty good one. There's a straight left jab. Look at the power in the jab of Mal Meninga. He throws a straight jab, and it rocks Jacko back. I'll tell you, Johnson has got a lot of difficulties with this guy. Meninga has the look on his face of just pure confidence. That was a crushing body shot just below the left elbow of Johnson. Didn't look like much, but that's a shot right in the heart. There goes the mouthpiece of Jacko. Jacko really sucking wind. Both guys over 40 years old, both are very tired. And Jacko knows how to get a little breather as he spit the mouthpiece out.
A little bit of a professionalism coming into it there. I think Mark went low on one of those as well.
He might have gone a bit low. The old mouth guard came out. An old trick and a good one.
All right, time back in. This is just round number 1. Meninga's not panicking at all. He's just showing his tremendous boxing skills and his tremendous power. Jacko doing the best he can with a long looping right hand that lands high up in the head, but does no damage to Mal at all. It appears that Jacko can't hurt Meninga at all. And that happened when he was playing football, rugby as well. Jacko did a lot of hurts on people in football. Meninga did the same thing in rugby. Look at the uppercut by Meninga. Straight left jab. Power behind the left jab. Now there's blood coming from the nose of Jacko, who's working as hard as he can, but he's outclassed here by the much more powerful Mal Meninga. Look at the blood coming from the nose. Back to his heel. Hit that. That was a flush shot.
3.
And I think the referee may be stopping the fight.
5.
Now he's counting up to 5 and 6 and 7.
7, you right?
And 8. I don't think he's going to make it. That's it for Jacko. It's all over. A first round knockout from Mal Meninga.
Yep, he was one of those guys who just always was a great athlete from the first day he laced a boot on. He's here in the ring. He's put on a great effort. Jacko, I mean, he danced and tried to come out early, and a flurry of punches there early from Jacko, but unfortunately, the end Mal was too strong.
Never really panicked, Mal, did he? He had it under control. He stood up to it. He took Jacko's jabs. Actually, Jacko fought pretty cleverly. He hasn't been in the ring for quite some time, and Mal has. He just stuck the left out as much as he could, but Mal virtually walked through it.
You know, Dermot, you're exactly right. He walked right through it. Mal showed tremendous power. But, you know, I just want to say on behalf of Jacko, because I get to know him this week, this kid really worked hard. As you take a look at the replay here and just notice the extraordinary power of Meninga. But Jacko really helped this promotion, and that's what it's all about, this one. As you see the final blow that put him to the canvas, and he just couldn't recover from it. I mean, a stiff jab like that. He's back, rolling back on his heels, and watch the next shot. Bangs him on top of the head, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, that was a very quick jab. He actually has an incredible power. He just kept on pushing Jacko back. Jacko kept trying right throughout, but those jabs, gosh, I didn't think Mal could jab that hard, and they just came out of nowhere. Boom.
Well, the thing that I liked about Mal's jabbing power, he didn't recoil either. They were straight out. They were straight out there. And we're just about ready for the announcement of the winner now. Let's go to Darryl Eastlake in the ring.
Yeah, thank you, Dermy. Well, what a man. Let's have a look at this. Has been a straight referee's decision. Call the shots, and said Jacko had enough. So the winner, of course, in blue, Mal Meninga. going to talk to both boys. Stay there, boys. Jacko, please, come back here. Mel? Okay. Jacko, I'll go to you first. Now, you came into a lot of fire and brimstone there, but this fellow, whatever he does in life, he does pretty well.
Well, now there's two people in this world that can beat me, Mel Meninga and me wife. Listen, Australia out there, we've had a go, we've had a crack. Get on those phones and make a donation. Because the youth of this country is what it's all about next year. So let's look after them.
Well said. Yeah, well said, Jacko. Well, Mel, you've never lost too many, mate. You've always been a very strong competitor, and you look so good.
Oh, I'm going to be lucky tonight, Daryl. You know, but full marks to Jacko. I mean, he sort of made this event tonight. The amount of publicity and advertising he did for this event, like Jacko said, I just hope people out there donate to a worthy cause, you know, preventive measures of youth suicide. It's a huge thing in Australia at the moment, so hope we played our part.
And listen, also, it's been a very big night for the rugby league boys. We've done all right.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's always good to come to Brisbane and have a victory, so we'll probably get and have a few beers tonight, I imagine.
Okay, well done. There they are. Mel Meninga, Wacko Jacko. What about that? That was worth waiting for. Dermy?
Thank you, Daryl Eastlake there in the round. Big Mel Meninga going out of the squared circle. They're victorious tonight, and that gives the rugby leaguers 4-1. And there's Jacko's wife. Now, that was great poignant words by Mark Jackson there, and there's his wife giving him a big hug, and he spoke from the heart there, Jacko, didn't he? Two champions. Absolutely. Well, stay tuned. There's plenty more to come here. We haven't finished yet. You're watching The Fight for Life.
So that's cocaine, sir, you were selling from the limousine.
Caught red-handed.
They can have that there for $100.
Drugs by chauffeur delivery.
It's pure MDMA.
We expose a blatant racket.
I've got pure speed. It's the best, I promise you.
Plus, our fresh water turned to this. They said it couldn't happen, but here's the proof.
The water was straight off the roof. There's nothing in between.
And meet the world's greatest freeloader.
Yeah, I always wanted to travel the world.
When Nissan presents A Current Affair.
He can't be long.
Still no news?
He must be looking for a park.
Budget now offers Nissan X-Trail Joyrides for the same price as an ordinary family sedan.
Anything?
Nothing. Not a peep.
Flavours are so irresistible. There's no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Today, Brand Power looks at the only fermented milk drink made here in Australia, and that's Yakult. A leader in probiotics for over 65 years, Yakult is made fresh every day at Dandenong, Victoria, where more than 200,000 bottles are produced daily. To guarantee the count of the unique Lactobacillus casei shirota strain, every batch is individually monitored and tested. Ensure you look for this Yakult pack in your supermarket. It's the only one made fresh in Australia. Brand Power, helping you buy better.
Today, there seem to be more home loan companies than ever, all of them claiming to be better than the others. There is, of course, a very simple way to discover who has a better home loan for you. Try RAMS and compare. We're sure you'll find us a lot more flexible. 13 RAMS, 137267. RAMS, a better way.
Wouldn't it be nice if the world was Cadbury? You could surf inside a chocolate tube. Ride your boat across the wave forever. Get what and never get a bruise. And if a shark came up and tried to bite you, you could say, I'm chocolate, I invite you. Wouldn't it be nice?
$42,890. You can go anywhere interesting with Discovery.
Never made it as a wise man. Where's my daddy? This is how you remind me. This is how you remind me of what I really am. I've been down into the bottom of every bottle. Words in my head scream on, we haven't fun yet.
There's no way you're gonna die. No way.
Third Watch, 9:30 Wednesday on 9.
The evidence is very clear that depression in particular is significantly increased amongst teenagers. And that's a risk, unfortunately, for a number of them for self-harm. And this Yellow Ribbon program is a very good project whereby people can seek help without feeling ashamed in a non-threatening way from organisations such as the one that I work with, the Health Psychology Unit, and thus get proper treatment early enough to make a difference to their lives.
Great advice from Anthony. Now we're back out the back with these two crazy comedians. Let's see what Ardoo is doing. What's happening,
I'm
mate?
here with the victors, the NRL boys. 3 cheers for us, fellas. Hip! 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 The real winners, the Yellow Ribbon tonight. Good on you. Over to you, Russ.
Thank you very much. Hey, we've got all the fighters here. Put your hands together for all our fighters, the Aussie Rules guys. They did a good job. That's a great cause. Don't forget, $25, 1902-268-001, and you can buy these for $1. Listen, we might have lost the fight, guys, but it is a good cause. We all happy?
Happy enough, mate. I'll be happier after about 20 crownies.
That's exactly right. We might have lost the fight, but we'll definitely win the drinking competition at the end of the night, okay? We'll cross back over to Hondo. We had a great time. Well done once again to all the guys. Over to Doomy. Let's go over to Doomy back at ringside. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Russell Gilbert. The dejected AFL room, boys. They won 4-1, the NRL guys, but they had a handsome win for the evening, didn't they? There's some good fights out there. Big Matty Kennedy, he's the only one to pull one off with the AFL. A ripping fight. Dean Rice and Trevor Gilmeister. You said, Bob, you were impressed with Trevor Gilmeister. Can really put them up.
Yeah, Gilmeister can fight, and so can, as we saw in the last fight, certainly Mel is a tremendous athlete. But I think more important than that the people that tuned in tonight, and certainly for the people that are in attendance here, it was an entertaining night throughout. Look at this. Again, just you have to be impressed with the power of Mel. I mean, there's a shot up at the top of the head that floored Big Jacko. And Jacko did all he could do. He tried to pump that jab. He tried to do what he was taught to do. But when you get a shot like that, especially with headgear on, that just shows you the power. Because he was really knocked out. I mean, he's bleeding from the mouth, and he's down hard.
Spoke beautifully too, Jacko, didn't he, E.T.?
He certainly did. I mean, both of these guys have been fantastic for this charity. I think the great thing is that you know, all these players are coming here to support. They realise the importance that youth suicide is
It's an epidemic,
it's a major problem here in Australia, and that's what it's all about tonight, this fight for life. And the campaign, I think it's been a great success.
I think if there's one message to take out of it is that we had some losers here tonight, but for the kids of Australia who are thinking of going the wrong way, they're not losers. They're out there having a go. You have a go, and you have a go out there at home and donate your money as well. Don't go away, because we're going to wrap up the show on the other side of the break with the great Billy Thorpe. You're watching The Fight for Life.